Quiet, please. Good evening. My name is Lucinda Marimba, and I work for the Huron City Library. Shh. Please note that if you need to use the bathroom, you'll have to wait until intermission. I'll be by the restrooms taking names, so hold it in. You're not babies, after all. And if you haven't got yourself a playbill, then quite frankly, you're an idiot. You'll have no one to blame but yourselves if you haven't got a clue what's going on. And you'll miss out on a chance to win prizes. Finally for now, please respect everyone on and off stage by silencing your smartphones. Silence your smartphones. Though why anyone would call something smart that's essentially the same as having a sewer in your pocket, feeding you the parasitic, riddled stools of humanity's fear and hate to rot your soul and waste your time is beyond me. Books, people. Books. Books are all you need. And now, for your entertainment, we welcome you to the walls of the Midnite Hour.
And now, the news headlines on Huron City Radio. In local news, Huron City Mayor Huck Benzine has had to back down from his controversial proposal to brand everyone on the forehead who was not born in Huron City. After a fight broke out at the last city council meeting as to how to fund the blacksmith and the branding iron.
Just make sure your papers are in order!
Was the last thing Mayor Benzine was heard to say as he was dragged screaming from the chamber. In international news, work on the Greywater Bridge is currently halted as workers in Huron City are still waiting for assurances from Canada that they actually still want to meet halfway. As no construction has started on the other side as yet. And finally, police have asked residents to be on the lookout for Sassy Gemma the Golden Goose, who has escaped from Huron City Library. Gemma, who is the library's interstate Dewey classification team mascot, was last seen wearing a blue bonnet. So please make sure any goose you bring in is sporting the correct headwear. And now, Huron City Radio Drama is proud to present Episode 1 of Raccoon Man.
I still don't know why you decided to come here.
You didn't have to come as well.
I wasn't going to let you come alone, here, not at this time of night. You can't snip the lock.
I'm going in. It's up to you what you do.
Wait up.
Look at the size of this place. All built on death and suffering.
You won't find anything.
You're afraid of them, aren't you?
You're crazy. Going in at night?
Stop whining. Come on.
Ugh, it stinks. No one's lived here in like centuries and stuff.
That's what I've been saying. No one comes out here. But this is where Dad was killed, and no one is looking to find out why.
But dogs. They said it was wild dogs that got him. Or coyotes.
You don't believe that any more than I do. Dad was here because he was mixed up in some hunting crap again.
Just because you're some animal rights nutter doesn't mean that...
Shh. You hear that?
Just rats. Or no, even worse, coyotes.
Listen.
We need to get out.
I'm not scared. He won't harm me.
Hey, what are you doing here?
We saw a light on. We thought we'd better...
That's just bullcrap. What are you doing here, huh? Daisy, is that you? How many others are here? Hey, come out. I got a gun.
For God's sake, run! Don't watch! Run, Ashley!
Raccoon Man by Daniel J. Williams. Episode 1, Cracker Hanson's Mansion.
Was that a play about talking raccoons? This station is not what it used to be. Now let's see what Eric said over on the supply rack. Oh, good. Needed some of this. Old. Oh, what else we got here? Looks like, oh, little buddy. Your hat finally arrived. There we go. Yeah. Oh, that looks great. We'll keep you nice and warm. Yeah, that's good. Oh, what else do we have? Eric, what do I don't need that. Oh, good, it's finally arrived. This is the letter I've been waiting for from the BBC. They finally replied. Great. Looks like my time on the little gray boat is nearly at an end. I'm going to leave this hunk of junk behind and find my true place in the world. Talent and patience, that's the magic combination. Yeah, that's right. All right, let's see here. Bobbajobski. Dear Mr. Bobbajobski, thank you for your application to our corporation. Yada yada. Unfortunately, at this time, the BBC cannot consider your application. We've heard the Midnite Hour. You are not what we're looking for at this moment in time. Please don't contact us anymore. Oh. Yes. Oh, no, nothing to worry about. CEO of Huron City Radio. No, that's not a strange way to address you. I just like to say who I'm talking to, that's all. It's good to know. No, I'm fine. It was, a letter from the BBC on the supply raft. No, I'm staying here. I will, thank you. Do my best, he said. Yeah, the best I can. Surrounded by amateurs and peasants. Well, I guess I'm staying here. For now. All right, pull yourself together, Tom, old boy. Make this a good one. In fact, make this a great one. So good, in fact, the BBC won't be able to say no. They'll have to take you. What's that, Eric? My producer back on the mainland? Well, that's not a strange way to greet you. I just like to say who I'm talking to. Nice to know. Yeah, the BBC. The British Broadcasting. Eric, what do you mean you've never heard of them? You've worked in radio for years. Oh, you know what? Forget it. It's none of your business anyway. Yes, I'm getting ready for the show. Just keep your pants on.
Raccoon Man is recorded at Parallel Studios and is an Albion Fields production for Huron City Radio.
The second episode of Raccoon Man can be heard next week. And now it's time for the Midnite Hour with your host, Tom Bobbajobski.
Greetings, landlubbers, and welcome to the Huron City Radio Midnite Hour, broadcasting from the middle of the largest body of fresh water on the planet. Today, out on the horizon, we have, you guessed it, endless blue-gray glass, stretching out for miles as far as the eye can see. I'm Tom Bobbajobski, your host throughout. Stay tuned because in 20 minutes I'm going to go see how long I can scream at the top of my lungs before passing out or disturbing the neighbors. No, I'm just kidding. There are no fucking neighbors. Now a word from our sponsor.
Maddie's Matted Mattresses. Slightly used, almost not even soiled mattresses for sale. Now, bug free! Mattresses from curves and yards all around the Great Lakes area. Lovingly restored by craftsmen, delivered direct to your driveway. Sleep will never be the same again.
Burroughs Homegrown Meats, where nothing is wasted. Try our new range of flayed skin shards, barbecue, tobacco, or root beer flavor. Perfect for most occasions. Probably.
Oh, and they're yummalicious. So much in the sample box they sent over with the energy. You gotta try the mystery spears. They are chewy, meaty, and a little hairy. It's just a shame they only come 2 to a bag. You know, I have a Maddie mattress in my bedroom, by the way. If by bedroom, you mean that room out back that's not the kitchen or the bathroom. And I swear, it's like owning your own piece of history. I mean, when I lay on mine at night and the springs creak each time I move, it's like hearing the echo of everything that happened on that mattress. It's like a symphony from the past, all those anxiety-fueled sleepless nights, every premature ejaculation, every bit of tears cried in morbid desperation, they all linger in the springs. Sleep is certainly never the same on a Maddie mattress. What's it? That's a ship! That's a big one, too. That's strange. I'm usually out here all alone. I never see other boats out here. Sorry. I think seagulls or something, that's all. All right, well, tonight's phone-in. Tonight's phone-in is all about books. Yes, big books, tiny books, long books, short books. We have a great show lined up for you tonight. We're going to get to the call-in a moment. We have music and drama, the underwater weather with Wendy Abalone, some words of wisdom on the pressing banners of the day with Professor A.V. Moore. Plus, I'll be announcing the competition winner from last week's competition, and this week we have the return of Tom's Bingo Bonanza, so make sure that you have your bingo cards at hand for that, listeners. Seriously, you should all have bingo cards. Right. So, tonight's phone-in, all about books, all kinds of books, big books, tiny books, short books, angry books. We are all reading a lot more books, especially those of us without anything else to do. So, literary classics, are they the works of genius that expand your mind, or just the mad ramblings of sadistic strangers that waste your time and warp your worldview? You know, sometimes books could be so engrossing they had you believing in outlandish things like self-confidence, democracy, or the fact that kittens are chewing through the fabric of space and time, which will inevitably cause universal meltdown. Yeah. We look forward to your calls tonight. Same number as every week, 101-42-22-666-13. By the way, before I forget, there's been a lot of listeners writing in and asking me, Tom, where is it that the Midnight Hour is broadcasting from? Well, listeners, we are located in the Midwest, and the state that we're in is easy to recognize because its outline actually looks like a little kitten. That's right. And we are situated right between its anus and its nutsack. But first, we have... Well, bless my cotton balls, that ship is coming this way.
Hey! Hey, is there anybody there?
Yeah, it's me.
And who are you?
I'm Tom Bobbajobski. Who the hell are you?
I am Gunther. I'm the captain of this freighter.
What the hell are you doing in my corner of the lake?
Well, we came over because we never see any other vessels in this part of the lake. May I ask, what in the
I'm broadcasting it. I'm broadcasting a radio show. Yes, really. It's the Midnite Hour with me, Tom Bobbajobski. Maybe you've heard of it.
No, we have never heard of such a thing.
Well, it's really quite good. In fact, I should be getting back to it right now.
Okay, well, we won't keep you. After all, we are a big, important ship.
Yes, you're a big ship, okay.
But we came over because we thought someone might need help or rescuing, because once again, it is a very small boat.
All right. No, I don't need rescue. Look, the BBC may be tuned in. I have to, well...
Well, if you did need rescuing, we have all that we need. We have ropes and a stretcher. We have done this kind of thing before on other crazy people stranded out here. If you would like. Maybe.
No, look, I need to get back to my show. The BBC may be listening, and frankly, I can't have big, empty spaces like this. Just bear with me, okay?
Yeah, okay. Hey, Hans! Try to find this funny little man on the radio. So I'm thinking that his show is not a real one.
Listeners, I apologize for the gap in the broadcast. Apparently, Eric seems to be having a bit of difficulty back on dry land. May have broken a fingernail or something. I said, no, Eric, I didn't go anywhere. Anyway, before the phone in, it's that time of the show where we bring you some aural delights. We tap at your eardrums, make melodies mess mellifluously with your mind. Yes, that's right. It's time for music on the Midnite Hour. And this week we have, what's that, Cher? Wait a minute, the Cher? Oh, man, this caliber guest is really going to get me done. It's good on you, Eric. About time, too. So, well, here she is, Cher, with her first song, No One to Drive Anywhere. I remember that, driving anywhere. Different places, not on a boat.
Back then heard you crying when you are sure that there's nobody home. I know answers, we take chances, not that you could ever discuss your emotions. It's all false bravado and play. Remember the cabbages we used to steal, and how excited we'd feel. You've been doing up that old guard with your usual infinite care. And to think what no wonder you are. Pity you've no one to drive anywhere. I have heard you crying. I have heard you crying. I have heard you crying.
That was music, I guess. Didn't sound like Cher used to, though. I don't know, maybe they just branched out and changed their voice, that kind of thing. You know how superstars are. Anywho, another song from them later, plus an interview where I can find out what connection she has, maybe to help me get out of this place. You're listening to the Midnight Hour on Huron City Radio with me, Tom Bobbajobski, broadcasting from the Kitten's Tate. All right, tonight's phone in literature, books, hell, cave paintings, hieroglyphics. Since the dawn of time, man has been scratching meaningful symbols into any surface close at hand. From the Bible to the Kama Sutra, from Shakespeare to Dr. Seuss. Books have been part of our day-to-day existence for thousands of years, but are they really worth it? Should you spend your time staring at ink marks on a page until you vividly hallucinate, or should you be doing something more useful like voodoo or grouting the bathroom? That's what we want to find out. Lines are open. Eric, my producer on the mainland, will greet you. And by the way, Eric, I asked you to send me something heavy on the supply raft to stop the boat from rocking. I meant like an anchor or something. Eric, the best of Deep Purple? Seriously. May you win the lottery and lose the ticket. And by the way, Eric, next time, Eric, you gotta put as much toilet paper as possible on the supply raft. I mean, the last few chapters of Little Women, they changed something terrible. Eric, toilet paper, please. All right. Well, our first caller is, it's the only line we have. Line 1. Who do we have here?
Edna. It's Edna from the mainland.
Yes, Edna, I know you're from the mainland. Now, books, fact or fiction, knowledge or garbage?
Well, I've only ever read one book in my life, and I was so traumatized I've never looked at a book since.
Really? And which book was this to have such power, such impact on a young mind?
Good Night, Moon.
Good Night Moon? Wait, the Good Night Moon? The book that more children in America have access to than they have to lead-free drinking water? That Good Night Moon?
Yes, it was terrifying. That room, those colors, so unearthly, so demonic.
I guess it does have a different color scheme.
And that old woman eating mush, she was a rabbit, for God's sake. I couldn't sleep for days. I figured if all books were like that, I'd never open one again.
Yeah, but surely at school they would have shown you books.
I pretended I was blind.
Well, they could have just read them to you.
I just pretended I was deaf.
And they didn't notice?
Well, they did get suspicious when they saw me talking and playing in the schoolyard.
What?
But then I pretended I was a cannibal, and I'd open my mouth real wide to bite them.
Next caller, please. All right, on line 1, what's your name, please?
Hello, it's Julie.
Well, hi, Julie.
And I love books. Can't get enough of them.
Well, any particular book you like best? You know, what floats your boat, tickles your fancy, ices your cake, cleans your shoes?
Oh, it's so hard to pick just one.
Oh, but if you did have to pick just one, Julie, actually pick one. Come on, you can do it.
But I love all books. They're just so adorable.
What? Wait, what?
Yes, so friendly, so pleased to see you.
What? I'm sorry, Julie, what are you saying?
With their waggly tails and wet noses.
What the?
And they're so loyal, and they bark at intruders.
Dogs, Julie.
I'm sorry, what now?
Dogs. You're talking about dogs, Julie.
Oh. Is that not what we're supposed to be talking about?
Books. This phone-in is about books, Julie.
Books. Dogs. Dogs. Books. Oh, I'm so sorry. I get them muddled up all the time. Dogs, books, dogs.
Next caller, please. Eric, come on. For God's sake, that was like talking to a cupcake. All right, please, come on. Who's up next on the Midnite Hour here on Huron City Radio?
Hello, Tom. This is Anthony. So wonderful to get through.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Anthony. So books, literature, something to treasure or something to trash?
Oh, to treasure without the shadow of a doubt.
And why is that?
Well, great books can take you to places and worlds you never get a chance to see in real life.
Okay.
And the best ones, well, it's rather like having the experience yourself.
Oh, you have an example of this?
Oh, certainly. Take John Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath, for instance. One can feel the suffering of Tom Joad, live through the agonizing choices he has to make to try and help his family.
Yeah, I see.
And Charles Dickens' Oliver Twist. One gets the sense of living like a street urchin and experiencing the dirty, squalid streets of Victorian London, joining a gang of pickpockets.
I get your point.
And then there's Titiana Ample's book, Call Girls of Paris. One can joyfully imagine walking down the Boulevard de Clichy with a rich, well-dressed gentleman by your side, slipping down a grubby alleyway and dropping one's knickerbockers and taking his enormous coat.
Eric, for God's sake, you gotta check these callers, like you said. All right, hello, who do we have on line to talk about the wonder or chunder of books?
Hey, Evan here, literature student and lover of all things literary.
Yeah, well, hooray. What do you got for me, Evan? What do you love about it all, the literally stuff?
Well, I'm doing my doctorate in the field of great literature in the early 20th century.
Sounds good. It actually sounds like books and literature, too. Care to explain more?
Oh, I'd love to. I can talk about this stuff all night.
Yeah, well, you've got a little bit.
Especially the book I'm focusing on for my doctorate, Finnegan's Wake by James Joyce.
James and Joyce, who are they?
Now, I know that it's been labeled as a near unreadable book, but I take it you are familiar with the work?
Yeah, I guess.
You see, within Finnegan's Wake, Joyce attempts to create an experience unlike any other literary work before or since. I mean, any work of art that took over 17 years to write has to be something special.
17 years? Fuck me.
With his use of portmanteau words and his creation of neologisms, many of which only appear in Finnegan's Wake, plus foreign language segments, and they all go to make up a work that many find impenetrable. But if you were to give it a moment,
that's great.
Like say the 4 years that I've devoted to working on it currently with my doctorate, the point of the underlying wisdom and insight of the most discernible characters
slow down, Evan.
show us via the dreams of a human mind can be turned to a single meditation on how to get rid of many aspects of our waking world, and that's somewhat our Finnegan's Wake, as I call it. Something I've done in formal times now. It is the unique creation of words.
No, Evan, I'm never going to put. Did you? Thank you, Evan. Now, come on, who the hell wants to talk about books? I mean, proper books, cats in headwear, teenagers on rafts, elves fighting hobos, that sort of thing. Oh, this is going terribly. At this rate, even the CBC won't want to have anything to do with me. So let's try and salvage this one, all right? Okay, come on. Who's next? Hello, you're through to Tom Bobbajobski on Huron City Radio.
Mr. Bobbajobski.
No, you can just call me Tom.
This is Lucinda Marimba from the Huron City Library. You have 27 books that are 6 months overdue.
What? Well, I can't even get off this.
You can pay by check, cash, or banker's draft in the sum of $167.99.
I'm sorry, you don't take credit cards?
You currently have French pastry making for beginners, The Story of O.
Okay, that's enough.
101 creative hairstyles for the balding gigolo. Make money from toe jam.
Eric.
Seagulls, recipes and dating tips for the lonely mariner.
I'm sorry, next caller, please, thank you. This will be our final caller tonight. You're through to Tom Bobbajobski on Huron City Radio's Midnite Hour.
Hey, thank you for calling back. Come on, pizzas. You're through to Raymond. How can I help you?
What? No, you're calling me. Sorry, Eric. What the clam splackers is going on?
Would you like to place an order, sir? Tonight's special is a free mousetrap with every order of 30 cheesy wings.
No, wait. I'm on the radio. You're on the radio. We're doing a phone-in. You're supposed to be calling me.
I'm sorry. What now?
You know what? At this point, it doesn't even matter.
Radio? What?
Hey, Raymond, you don't happen to be into literature, do you?
Look, man, I just work here.
Well, you must have read a book or two at some point, surely.
Oh, sure, of course, dude.
So would you like to tell us whether great literature is a source of profound inspiration or just pretentious nonsense?
Well, now you put it like that, I think literature is a great thing, B. Like a source of unbridled creativity.
Oh, right, at last.
Like human telepathy, man. Like trying to convey to another person how you see the world.
All right. Yeah.
And we all have books inside of us.
We do?
I mean, I write all the time between shifts.
Right? What do you mean you write? Well, I can write. I can read, too.
Books. I write books. Stories, poems. In fact, I'm working on a novel right now.
But you're making pizza.
Dude, I can make pizza and write. I'm not going to be making pizza for the rest of my life.
Well, someone has to. But tonight, you think maybe tonight you could make me one?
I'm going to write something. And the whole world is going to be like, wow. We gotta listen to what this dude has to say.
Free mousetrap, you said?
I've studied Shakespeare, studied Plato. Now I shred cheese and dice tomato. But there's something more inside me. Will my dreams still guide me, or are they gone now? I write novels, plays, and ballads, but ranch dressing and Greek salads are the things I see before me. And this life, it bores me, but I'll escape it. Or I write all night till my heart is spent, and I need the cash to pay the rent. I'm trying to leave, but I just seem to stay. There's always tomorrow to take me away. I understand the works of Nietzsche. What would he want upon his pizza? That's the crap my mind is thinking. I may turn to drinking, but I'll keep writing. I want to live upon an island and write like Shelley, Keats, and Byron, though I don't have their connections. I know my direction, and I'll get there.
directions. Do you think you can get one of those backhanded babies out to me here on a little gray ship?
Yeah, but all right, hang on.
Okay, great. Large, extra anchovies. Good, thank you. Yeah, you just take care of it. Wonderful, wonderful. Good luck, Raymond. Just make sure that you make my pizza before you write another chapter, okay? All right, we'll do another phone in next week. Oh, fuck my old people. Where do you find these people, huh? Hey! Good, you're still here.
Yeah, of course. How's it going with you?
Not quite as well as I'd hoped, quite honestly.
Yes, we know. We found your show.
Oh, you did?
Yes, we did. It was most interesting. Interesting how you got the show in the first place.
Listen, I can't control the callers. I just work with what I have.
Oh, I understand, Mr. Tom. It is like we cannot control the weather out here on the lake, but, you know, we still have to keep going onwards, keep going toward our destination, you know, especially a big, important ship like ours.
Yes, I understand. You're a very big, important ship, right? Where are you headed, anyway?
Then we have one more deposit of our load to make. And then we are off to Hamburg.
Oh, Hamburg, yeah, I remember it well.
Oh, you know of Hamburg?
Oh, yes, been there many times. I used to be in the Merchant Navy, years ago, mind you, but, oh gosh, I've seen Hamburg, Liverpool, Rotterdam, Southampton, Marseille, all the way down to Hong Kong and Singapore. In fact, all the way down to Tierra del Fuego. Land of the midnight sun. All the way down to the bottom of the world. Oh, that summer of the penguins. I have a passport.
Oh, you do you?
Yes, a passport.
Okay, if you say so. So, are you inclined what I think you might be inclined?
Just hold on a minute. I need to get back to my show. I have important information to pass along. This is information that people need. It's like a public service announcement.
Okay, but don't take long, okay? We don't have all day, Mr. Tom.
You're listening to Tom Bobbajobski with the Midnite Hour here on Huron City Radio. The time is, I don't know who the hell cares what time it is. All I know is that now it's time for...
Tim's Top Tips.
Tim? Who the hell is Tim?
Tom's Top Tips.
Tom's Top Tips? Eric, what's going on there? What? Oh, you thought it would be cheaper to get it done in Quebec, did you?
Tom's Top Tips.
Who's that? Oh, your niece? Oh, Eric, come on.
Tom.
Oh, come on, Eric. Hold it together.
Top Tips.
Finally, Tom's Top Tips. Well, you got to find somebody else to do those, Eric. What? Sorry, what? Oh, they're too expensive? Well, I don't know, sell something. You don't need all those microwave ovens. Anyway, it's time for Tom's Top Tips, and tonight's tip is for an Alice Loafenbro of Anchor Falls, who's written in, and she asks, Dear Tom, I have some unsightly deep red stains all over the living room carpet. My husband used to take care of such household problems, but he's no longer around to ask. I have guests coming at the weekend. I'd like to have it cleaned by then. Do you have any of your top tips that would help me? Yours, bludgeoningly, Alice. Well, Alice, you're in luck because carpet stains are really easy. You just take club soda, mix in a quart of ground virgin toenails, add 3 drops of the tears from a baby born under a full moon, shake together while dancing to Mario Lanza, singing from Puccini's La Boheme before sprinkling liberally in a counterclockwise direction. And there you have it, all sorted. I'm sure I'm sure your guests won't spot a thing. Yeah, spot. They won't spot a thing. All right. Well, remember, we'll do another top tip next week. If you have a problem and need help, drop me a line. Tom Bobbajobski, The Gray Ship, Lower Lake Huron. Don't forget the waterproof postage stamp. And now, oh, this is exciting. It is time for Tom's Bingo Bonanza. So get your cards ready at home, listeners, or wherever you happen to be. And remember, tonight's prize is a Midnite Hour mug used by yours truly. All right. So here we go. Our first number. And by the way, folks, you've got to have all of the numbers, okay? You've got to have your bingo card covered if you want to win. All right, our first number, listeners, is 72. Yes, the year Uncle Jimmy went down. 72. Next, all the fours, 44. Next number, oh, the number of legs on my first dog, 3. Tom's next birthday, 21. All right, now we've got 15, 3 and 8, that's 38. All right, fine. I'll slow down. Number of months I was married, 13. All on its own. Number 1. Number 1. Number 76. 76 trombones in the parade.
Not happy.
There it is. And banjos played. Okay, next, folks. 6 and 5 makes 11. Next number, 40. Life begins at 40. That's some bullshit. All right. 53, the number of weeks I've been out here all alone. No bingo yet? All right. Bingo. 69. Anybody yet? Check those numbers again. You have to have all the numbers. 72, 44, 3, 21, 15, 38, 13, 76, 11, 40, 53, and all right. There is the prize for our lucky winner. Tom's Bingo Bonanza. Congratulations. Thanks a lot for playing along. And now, it is time for another word from tonight's sponsors.
Come to Randy's Apple Orchard for crunchy family fun! We have more apples than we know what to do with. Visit our 147,000-acre apple farm and pick apples until your fingers bleed! Come swim in our Olympic-sized apple juice pool or get distressingly lost in our 25,000-acre apple tree maze! Randy's, where no apples are bad apples!
Huron City Museum of Wind. Winds lovingly collected from around the globe by expert wind gatherers. Be refreshed by the Cape Doctor of South Africa. Bask in the uncomfortable humidity of Southern Europe's Sirocco. Voted best wind theme attraction in the Great Lakes area 6 years running. We have a breeze for everyone.
And folks, I gotta tell you, that little museum really has some great stuff, right? They sent me this little Greek regale from the gift shop. It's supposed to break the humidity on hot summer nights. Let's open it up. Although this stuff, it's pretty good stuff, huh? Anyway.
Hey!
Oh! Hey, are you still there?
Yeah, of course!
So, I don't know, what do we do now? Well...
Okay, Tom, you are supposed to grab the rope, okay?
Oh, I see. Try again.
Yeah, okay, we'll try again, okay? 1, 2, 3.
Okay, I got it.
Good job.
Got it. Now what?
Now I need you to tie a secure knot, okay?
Okay. Uh-huh. All right.
Nein, Gott in Himmel! I told you to tie a secure knot!
I did tie a secure knot.
You're supposed to tie it to your grubby little boat!
Oh,
What
I
do you
see.
think
Okay.
you're trying to do here?
We'll do it. Try again.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, good. Got it. Tie it to the boat. There we go.
Okay, you do know how to tie a knot, yeah?
Well, of course I do. I was in the Merchant Navy, you know.
Okay, just checking.
How does this knot go again?
Okay, no, das keinen can goes around and does walking up into the hole.
The Keinen, I'm
The
sorry.
hole, okay?
Oh,
The
okay,
bunny
so-
rabbit comes out of the hole.
Out of the hole.
Out of the tree, and down through the hole again.
Down through the hole again, and then what?
It's a bowline knot. It's very simple.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Is that good?
Okay,
Good,
good.
okay.
All right, now remember, you have to be there to receive the stretcher. All right, we'll send the stretcher over. You hop on. You come back over. It could not be easier.
Okay, I will. Look, I got to get things moving back on the show.
Okay, but you need to hurry.
All right, won't be too much longer. I promise. Sorry, listeners. That was, I'm sorry, what, Eric? Seagulls again, yeah. Pesky seagulls. All right. Well, apologies for the dead air. There's a few technical difficulties here on the boat. Hard to get the staff that you want these days. Now it's time for this week's drama with Uncle Walter's Year of Wonder. Now, as long as it's not my old Uncle Wally. At least he said he was our uncle. Not that my parents knew of him. I never did go back to that choir practice. All right, I got things to do.
Hey! Nice to see so many of you here tonight. I hope my porch is large enough. Take a load off your feet. I can see you already have. Well, make yourself comfortable. I'm going to talk now. And I'll be able to see if any of you get up to go. So I'll be asking you why, just so you know. Hot, isn't it? I love the heat of summer, though the days can get relentless with their heat and the nights are stifling, unless the air conditioning works competently and quietly. It's also the fireworks time of year, time of unbridled celebration. I do sometimes become uneasy about it all, what with the booze and the fireworks and the constant threat of mischief in the air as everyone celebrates their right to do whatever the hell they want. It's a time I often find myself walking by the lake. A lake that's connected to the rest of the world if you have a good enough boat. Well, it was by the lake I found myself walking one mid-July evening with a group of friends. We had been hanging since school ended for the summer, and each of us was around 13 or 14. The excitement of the 4th of July holiday had waned, and as usual, we were trying to stave off the boredom harbored by the long summer holiday. There was Tom, my best friend at the time, Ed and Julie, who were in the same grade, and there was Francesca. She was a petite girl of Italian descent who seemed exotic to us as she could actually speak Italian. Well, there we were walking by the lake, and it was really, really hot, despite the breeze coming off the water. And Tom was telling me about the plans he had made for the summer, and Ed and Julie were talking and giggling. Francesca was searching the shallow water for semi-precious stones, or jewels, as she called the little pieces of lake-worn glass. Then she stopped. Look! She pointed to a large box sticking out of the sand. Thomas came running over. Maybe it's full of treasure, and he started digging. Ed joined in too, and I just watched. For I knew it was just full of sand. It only took a minute before fanciful notions of gold doubloons were met with disappointment, as it turned out to be just an old wooden storage box full of sand. Thomas threw it back in the lake. I know where there's some real treasure buried, he said, out back of my uncle's place. He showed me where his neighbor buried a 1962 Lincoln Continental. Why would anyone bury a 1962 Lincoln Continental? Julie asked. Because it was a lot easier and cheaper than doing anything else with it, Thomas explained, as if it was obvious why anyone would bury a 1962 Lincoln Continental. But he wasn't the only one. People used to bury all kinds of stuff. Hell, I knew one old couple that knocked down their house and buried it, furniture and all. I bet if we dug around, we could find all kinds of stuff. Maybe some real treasure, at least something we could sell. Ed asked where Thomas's uncle's place was, and Thomas explained that it was out past the hills, as we called it. Now, the hills weren't really that hilly, but they were surrounded by a woodland that was steeper than anything else in the area. Once you came out of the clearing, you went up the dirt road, turned right, and there's where Thomas's uncle's house was. And we all stood and stared at each other. We knew the place he meant, and it was a place a lot of people had a story about, and not a very good one. That's where my brother and his friend saw that creature out in the field while they were watching TV, Julie said. One minute he was out in the woods. Then he came right up to the window, much taller than a man. But he couldn't have got there so quick. 1 minute in the woods, the next minute by the house. Wham, bam. Thank you, Mama. Maybe it was a bear, Ed said, sounding a little unnerved. There are no bears around here, stupid, said Francesca. My grandmother says there are things like that by her house, too. She never goes out after dark. Well, Thomas said he had been out there many times and had never seen anything like that. There was a silence, and then Francesca finally spoke and said, I don't think we should go there. Well, I don't care what your grandma says, Thomas said, hands on hips. Now, we all knew about Francesca's grandmother. She had come over from Italy as a teenager and longed to get back to the homeland ever since. My grandmother believed that there were two worlds here in America, not like in Europe, Francesca said. And when she told us, she used a voice that, well, I really can't do, but what the heck. Her grandmother had said that in Europe, we know our past. The land holds the history. Stories are passed down for thousands of years. And even though countries invaded other countries, and then they themselves were invaded, the cultures were joined, never completely destroyed. We know where our ghosts are. But here in the United States, it's not like that at all. Francesca told us how her grandmother had spoke about the old world that was here for many, many centuries before modern-day European descendants thrust themselves upon the land and obliterated everything that was already here. But the old world never went away, Francesca continued. It's right there, running alongside the false world the invaders brought with them. That new world that seemed like a terrible dream that led to plastic-clad houses and soulless strip malls with neon lights to distract you from the real world that's still there, forever grieving, forever suffering, forever watching. Why do you think there's so much paranoia in the countryside? She went on. Because the ghosts of that world that was taken away are still there, still come knocking. And no one from the new false world understands what it is that haunts them. We all looked around at each other, except Francesca. She just stared at the ground. Well, I say we should still go, said Thomas. Beats finding nothing here on the beach. Anyone got any better ideas? He said, rhetorical in his tone. Well, your granny never liked it here anyway, Ed said. She's unhappy and old. I say we go too. Julie wasn't sure, sided Francesca over not going. So everyone then looked to me to cast the deciding vote. I didn't particularly care either way, but I was bored and maybe there was some treasure of a fashion to be found. Let's go, I said. And then Francesca gave me a look of resignation that made me wonder if I had made the right decision. Well, it was hotter inland, humid. After about 30 minutes of cycling, we were all sweaty. We didn't have water bottles back in those days. I guess we were just naturally hydrated. Eventually we came to the hills. Up until that point, we had been talking mainly nonsense. But as we pedaled up the curved incline, the trees thickened on each side and we were all quiet. I wanted to believe it was because we were tired. But it felt a little cooler, a little less light came through, and I felt uncomfortable for the rest of the ride to his uncle's house. Like many properties in the country, the road front was narrow, but the length of the property stretched back to the line of trees at the back of the land about a quarter mile. The ground was flat, mainly scrub. Some crops may have been there at one time, but they were long gone. We left our bikes by the house while Thomas went in to check with his uncle to tell him where he was and make sure he knew exactly where the Lincoln's grave was. Once we reached the line of trees, you could feel the descent of about 120 foot or so. Not too steep, but one you had to take care on. You sure you know where it is? Said Ed. Yeah, I know, said Thomas. The guy just rolled it down, not far from here. Well, I hope you're right, said Julie. I don't want to get lost down here. You can't get lost, Thomas said. It's right up here, I'm telling you, not very far. As we stepped forward into the trees, the humidity increased, as did the buzzing of the mosquitoes. We were looking for an easy route down when I saw a cat sitting near the edge where we came in. Here, kitty. What are you doing out here? The cat let me stroke it. It purred. The fur was velvet to the touch, a mixture of peach, tan, and brown. And it looked straight back at me, and its eyes were the color of polished almonds. I felt like I wanted to talk to this cat. Such was the brightness in its demeanor. But the others came over and made a big fuss over the cat before I could make a fool of myself trying to talk to it. Only Thomas didn't pet it. Let's go, he said. As we descended, so the cat followed. It moved nimble and graceful, pulling ahead and waiting for us to catch up before taking off again. Aw, it's so cute, said Julie. It's like having our own little guardian angel down here because we don't know where we're going. Thomas insisted that he did know where he was going. Francesca stopped, and the cat noticed and went back to her. Why would we need a guardian angel down here if there wasn't anything we needed protecting from? Francesca said. Just follow the cat, said Ed. And we did. The cat always found the best way down, showing us a path and trotting along the trunks and branches. At the bottom, the trees thinned out. Thomas took the lead and we all followed, including the cat, until he came to the spot he believed the car to be buried. Here, he said, and pushed his shovel into the ground. A loud metallic sound indicated that he had indeed found the treasure. After a few minutes of digging, we found out that pretty soon we had a lot of rusted 1962 Lincoln Continental on our hands. And not much else. We gotta keep digging, said Thomas. We all sat there, even sweatier than before. None of us wanting to dig. What's that over there? Julie said. And she pointed to about a clearing about 50 yards away. We all walked over. The closer we got, you could tell the clearing was circular, too perfect to have been natural. The trees that were closest to it had scant leaf cover, despite it being the middle of summer, and those that had fallen on the ground had decayed. We all walked over and stopped about 10 yards from it. The buzzing of the mosquitoes stopped too. The silence filled my ears, and the air was cooler. We all stared, for now we could see that within this clearing was the remains of what could only be described as an earthen wall, about 4 foot high and 1.5 feet on the top, sloping down to a base of a couple feet or more. Sections had crumbled away or were missing, but there was no doubt that at one time this had been a complete circle. We stared on, our silence only broken by Francesca. Look! We turned immediately. The cat! Some 50 yards back, the cat remained sat on the tree stump. What about the damn cat? Said Thomas. It's not followed us, Francesca said. We couldn't go any further. It knows something. Don't be ridiculous, said Thomas. And he walked over to the small earth wall with Ed following. Julie tried to beckon the cat over, but it would not move, as still as the tree stump had sat on it. I didn't go with Thomas and Ed. I watched as they approached the circle, keeping one eye on the cat. And then Ed stopped too. Come on, Thomas said. I'm going to jump down the slope. Come back, Francesca said. Don't go in there. But Thomas didn't listen. He climbed onto the bank and rolled down the other side, all 4 foot of it. He stood back up quick, gave a goofy smile, and then stuck out his arms as if he had done some fabulous gymnastic move. And then his face turned pale. He started to convulse, too, as it went on. I thought he was kidding at first, but as it went on for far longer, that would have been funny. I knew he wasn't joking at all. The cat meowed a single long wail. Thomas started to shout, still shaking, "Get off me! Get off me! Get off me!" And then Thomas fell to the ground. I instinctively ran towards him, but the moment I put 1 foot into the earthen bank, a cold chill ran up my leg as if I had just stepped into icy water. I pulled back, but I could still see over. Thomas lay on the ground. He was quaking, and he was turning blue. No, said Francesca. Don't go in there. Despite the protests of Francesca, I held my breath and jumped in, calling Ed to come with me. There wasn't the same feel of ice anymore, but the temperature was so much colder than it should have been for that time of year. We dragged him out of the circle and laid him a good 20 feet from it. Thomas, can you hear me? Julie was rubbing his hands and took off her t-shirt to try and warm him. Francesca, Ed, go get help, I said. As they turned and left, it was clear none of us knew the way out. But the cat, who had not moved from the tree stump all this time, came to greet them. And even though it sounds crazy to say it, I'm sure the cat knew the way to go. I took off my own shirt and wrapped it around Thomas. Then Julie and me dragged him further away from the circle. We shook him, but he didn't respond. He just shivered, as if all the cold in the world had entered him and had no intention of leaving. We didn't know what else to do. So we both lay down next to him, hoping our body heat would enter into him. And as I lay there, I could feel myself wanting to cry without having the slightest idea why. I held it in, scared of the power in which waves of unfounded grief surged through me, engulfing me, torrents taking me down to a place I didn't want to go. My head floundered, submerged into a depth of sadness I never knew existed. I clenched my teeth fighting it. And then I heard little sobs from Julie, ones that she couldn't contain. And I finally gave in. Within seconds, we both shook as Thomas shook, not with the cold, but with whatever surged through us, forcing rivers of tears to flow like the flood after a thaw. And Julie reached out her hand, and we both simply cried, as if this was now our only purpose in life and would never cease. I still can't explain it. I can guess, but it seemed like we sobbed for an age before Thomas's uncle, accompanied by Francesca and the cat, picked Thomas up and carried him up the slope. Thomas' face still looked an unnatural shade of pale, but at least his eyes were open. Julie and I put our tops back on, and we all walked back up. When we got to the top and stepped out onto the trees to the edge of the field, Ed was waiting for us. He had wanted to come back down. I didn't blame him. We answered some questions from the paramedics and saw Thomas off into the ambulance. I looked around, but could no longer see the cat. Oh, my stomach felt sick. I wanted to talk to it. I wanted to say something to it. Thanks. Such an unusual cat. And it was no coincidence it had met us that day at the clearing. Of that I'm certain, even if I have no evidence to make such a claim. We all waited for news of Thomas, but it took days before we found out anything. Long after he'd left the hospital, a scan had shown nothing unusual, and his blood work came back normal. They couldn't find out what had caused his seizure or for him to act like that. Nothing inside of him indicated what the problem was. But those of us that saw Thomas that day knew that it wasn't anything on the inside of him that caused it, but something from the outside of him. Thomas was a changed kid after that. He barely spoke to anyone and never went out. Quiet in the classroom, he looked like he was proverbially scared of his own shadow, or I guess whatever he now knew lurked in those shadows. Oh, and Thomas wore gloves most days to hide the missing fingertips, 2 on his left and 3 on his right. He lost them to frostbite that day. Yeah, frostbite in July. Well, like I said, there was no medical explanation for that. But we did hear from the paramedics who took him that day talk with confusion about hypothermia and the conditions and symptoms associated with it. But no one ever mentioned that again. Not us, not the doctors, not any parent. It was buried. You don't know what you'll find when you go digging. Francesca's grandmother reminded us one day that summer when we were all over for homemade pasta. Although, not Thomas, of course. And you won't be ready for what you find. Genocide, slavery, war. Humanity's three greatest evils. That's what this country is founded on. All that needless suffering doesn't just go away. Such violence makes for angry spirits seeking justice. None of your preppings or your constitutions are ever going to protect you from them. Speaking of spirits, hey, how about a quick one, huh? To the road? Nothing too big, just a small one, and not to impair your driving, but maybe it will take the edge off when you're out at night and you're not sure if it's shadows or something else out there in the dark, or that maybe something could be watching you. Just so you know. Something probably is. Enjoy the rest of July with its heat to keep you safe. For now. Take care out there, please. We'll see y'all again real soon.
There will now be an intermission of 15 minutes. Not 14 minutes, not 16 minutes. However, we will be holding our raffle in 10 minutes. So, if you have a playbill, you got 10 minutes, not 15 minutes. And if you haven't got a playbill, why not? Come on, chop, chop! Intermission has begun now.
Firstly, I want to thank Paul and Laura from the Mariners for having us, because without a venue we could never put on this show, so they took a chance, and I know before last night's show they had their fingers crossed. My family's here tonight, so Marty and my kids, Rowan, Natalie, and Alex. Actually, you can see here we have the kitten state. Alex did that, my son, he's in the audience. We have a picture by Rowan of a seagull on the thing there. I also want to thank, we have a couple of people in the audience. I actually want to thank this, we have Suzanne Moore O'Brien here in the audience. She was in, when we started Huron City Radio, she was there for the first read-through of Raccoon Man. She was there right at the beginning. She was our police chief.
And I had COVID.
And she had COVID. That's why her voice sounds so husky and sexy.
So when we're in the raffle.
We have another person here who's been in Huron City Radio. Sarah Popotnik is in there. She was in an episode of the Midnite Hour, surely, but she was also the baddie in Mission to the Grey Hole, which you should listen to. It's an 8-episode award-winning BBC played space drama. Fantastic.
Hang on, you emphasize BBC play.
BBC, it was played, it was serialized.
The real BBC play.
And we also have Stephen Couch Speedo is in the audience as well. If you listen to this, you will hear the most amazing soundscapes and soundtrack. Put your headphones on. That is all Steve and actually Rob, who was here last night from the Haberdasher, so thanks to them. Thanks also to Bryce Eargood, who is here. She actually came all the way from Montana just to see us. Well, I think she lives closer than Montana, but she's here tonight. Bryce was one of the first people from the press who got in touch with us because she was interested in Huron City Radio. And that was a big deal for me to have someone from outside our friend group take an interest. So, and she wrote a fantastic article, and that really boosted our kind of presence in the Grey Water area. So thank you, Bryce. Also, you can't see, but up on stage I have the wonderful Brian and Regina Spain, who are here from Interstage Right. If any of you been up and sit here and say Interstage Right, these are the people responsible. If you haven't, you should go. But I would not have met all the people in Huron City Radio if it had not been for the group of people they'd already assembled. So I stole them and I thanked them for them.
We're sharers.
Okay. But thanks to them. But I'm going to shut up and get on with the raffle.
Let's get prizes!
Prizes.
Yay! Official stuff.
Okay.
All right, what's the first number? And what are we doing? What's the prize?
Oh, yes.
Poster?
Thank you.
Poster first?
We have a signed poster.
Signed
poster. Signed by the stars.
You're welcome.
The number is 78.
No! Jesus Christ!
No! 78. We've got one.
78. All right, come on down.
Yay, 78.
You have to get here in 3 seconds, otherwise the prize is forfeited.
Oh, I'm so happy for
Right. You get a fantastic signed poster of John Carpenter's 1993 hit, Just to make it official, there you go. Huron City Radio. Thank you so much.
Next up is a mug. We have a mug.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
I'll get the mug. Call the number.
52.
Oh, that's not me.
I told you I
52.
52.
Hey, just behind you.
You get Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Once again, boom. You probably shouldn't even use it. Congratulations.
The last prize. This one's a T-shirt.
85.
65.
Hey! This one's actually real! Hey!
Oh, that looks cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I ordered the wrong size, so we just wanted to get rid of it. Without further ado, just need to move it.
Yes, it does. It needs to pop right together. Okay. Thank you. All right, that's that. Let's do it!
Well, I'm leaving on a freighter. Don't know when I'll be back again. Leaving on a freighter. Get the hell off this great ship for once. Oh, it's about time, too. I think that my days on this little gray ship are finally coming to an end. This is exactly what I've been waiting for now. Gunther said that he's going to bring a stretcher over here for me and finally get me off this floating coffin. I'll be gone. I won't have to work with you anymore, Eric, you half-wit. And I'll tell you, that's being rude to fractions. What's that, Eric? All right. Well, now, folks, it's time to catch up on what's coming up in Huron City and the Grey Water area this week. Not that I give a flying. Well, to start with, a reminder, you still have time to register for next weekend's Day of the Dead Float Down. That's right, this annual fun event sees people take to the lake strapped to a recently departed loved one. Now, the aim is to see how far the current will take you out into the water whilst balancing a keg of beer on the deceased's torso. And last year's winners were eventually returned by the Canadian Coast Guard. They will both be there to present this year's triumphant team with a barrel of bologna, along with a gift certificate from Richard Thornberry's Mummification and Embalming Emporium. Coming up on the weekend, members of the Greywater Society of Zealots will be holding their annual Intolerance Fair. Only at Liberty Park, where bigots from all over the Great Lakes area will proudly gather and celebrate their ever-decreasing ability to accept anyone not exactly like them. Now, the competition to add new sections of society that hate, marginalize, and oppress goes to the vote, and included this year on the ballot are bilinguals, left-handers, and anybody that has a yard but doesn't use a riding lawnmower. All the regular attractions are there, including the Fear and Paranoia tent, the totalitarian tombola, and for little ones, there's one-stroke face painting from Wilda's Whitewash. The weekend will culminate in homemade fireworks and the burning of anything written after 1865. Entrance is free, but a brown, silver, or black shirt is mandatory for admittance. And don't forget, next Tuesday, Angie's Pickerel Sanctuary will be having their all-you-can-eat fundraising fish fry. That's to raise money for a brand new custom-built pickerel play park. So go, have fun, support a good cause. I won't be there. And now I can say for the last time ever, thank God, we go to the bottom of the lake to see what the weather's like down there with our underwater weather girl, Wendy Abalone. Wendy?
Well, Tom, it's pretty wet down here tonight. There was a cloud of E. coli coming in from the east, but that should be cleared away by mid-morning. We have reports that a rather large shoal of protective prophylactics have been spotted drifting in from the lower lake. It'll be a couple of hours before it has completely passed through, so please take care. The oil spill level for the next 24 hours is medium to high, and just now, a cute silver fishy came so close, it nearly touched the end of my nose.
Oh, how nice. Well, thanks, Wendy. What a girl. Half volleyball coach.
Wait!
Half... What?
I'm not done.
Okay. Oh, no, Wendy, not you,
too. You think I like being stuck in this lake? Don't be silly. Give me a break with all this oil and toxic waste making me ill. You're probably asking why I stay here still. Well, someone has to tell the world of this pollution, so maybe someone out there can fashion a solution. But I don't need a ship to get out of this place. There's something you should know about this pretty face.
the Quinny Isles of Greece, from Barcelona down to Nice. So many of my friends, they think that I'm a moron to keep on coming back to the bottom of Lake Huron. And even though he's a bird of Bobbajobski, I need the help of Tom Bobbajobski to broadcast this plight of this watery world, for it means such a lot to this half fish, half ghoul. And even though I'm free to go, I will remain here to let people know that's the reason I'm gonna stay. There's always tomorrow to take me away.
Back to you, Tom.
Well, thank you, Wendy. Oh, boy. What a woman. Well, I guess now we know. Well, we have much more coming up on the Midnite Hour. We'll be hearing later from more of us.
Hey! Hello, are you there?
Excuse me, listeners. Yes. Hey, I'm nearly ready.
Yeah, good, okay, let's get on with it. Everyone's looking forward to meeting you.
Oh, good. I think I remember some of the German that I picked up in Hamburg. That'll come in handy when I get there, huh? Haben Sie etwas für diesen jungen Ausschlag?
Was?
Haben Sie etwas?
No, yeah, I know what you're trying to say. You want to know if I have something for your itchy rash?
Yes, good. I had some interesting times in Hamburg before. That might be a good idea.
Look, just come on, okay? Are you ready now?
Almost. It'll just be another minute, okay? All right. Hold on. Very nearly ready. All right. And now, folks, another word from our sponsors.
Miss Amanda's Roadkill Fashions. Don't waste your money on fancy furs. Our skilled couturiers transform unrecognizable pelts from crow food to the catwalk, all finely stitched in our very own workshop. It's like wearing your second skin, literally. Miss Amanda's, don't be seen in anything else dead.
All the way from the Emerald Feckin' Isle to the Greywater area, Feckin' Father O'Donnell's is shocked to announce the opening of a brand new branch of our unique fast food restaurant, Feckin' O'Donnell's. Its spudtastic menu features the half a pound of mashed potatoes burger, Feckin' Lucky Potato Nuggets, the juicy potato filet of potato, or our healthy Feckin' raw potato salad, all served with a bucket of French fried potatoes and washed down with a Guinness or Bailey steamed milkshake. Bring the whole Feckin' family. Free copy of Finnegan's Feckin' Wake with every Feckin' kids meal. To be sure.
Oh, hooray. About time, we finally got a decent sponsor. This quarter-pound potato burger they sent over is... it's cold and really filling, though. Nice touch, so the pickles are all in the shape of a Wait, that is a shamrock. Anyway, yes, well, there you have it. Thanks again to our sponsors today.
Hey, are you ready yet?
Is the rope tight enough?
Okay, yes, no, we've been through this, okay? You have to be there to receive the stretcher, okay? You really need to get ready. We really do not have much time, you know.
I understand. Not much more left to go. Don't worry about it. All right. Sorry, yes, where were we? Sorry for the interruption. You're going to have to write a letter to Eric if it's bothering you. Now, time to look at some of the more serious issues in life. And for that, we turn our attention to Professor A.B. Moore of A.B. Moore University, as Professor Moore tonight talks about a subject that will affect us all, and that is climate change in an uncertain age.
Did you know that the scientific community has recently confirmed the existence of gravitational waves? This means that eventually there will be such a thing as gravitational wave surfing the cosmos. So that implies that it would come with its own surfer dude culture. So, I say, we get a jump on it and we go down to Queen's Beach in Australia. Is that the beach that Patrick Swayze went off to die at the end of Point Break? And we'll catch some sick tubulars.
Well, thank you, Professor, for the...
And did you know subatomic particles known as neutrinos have shown experimental evidence of being able to break Einstein's universal speed limit and travel faster than photons? To put it another way, they travel faster than light. In that movie with Harrison Ford and his pet St. Bernard, and he says punch it all the time. So, I say, we make a neutrino-powered laser beam and a laser receiver, and we join the International Laser Tag Competition in Reno, Nevada. Our neutrino guns fire quicker than their laser guns, giving us a much-needed advantage that we can use to win a lifetime supply of tapioca pudding for first prize.
Well, thank you, Professor. I think we can agree we're all a little bit wiser and thoughtful after that. As promised, another song now from our musical guest this week, and I think we've established now that she's not the real Cher, but Cher. I thought that was probably too good to be true. But anyway, here's another song from Cher.
The morning sun has just begun. The night's not far behind us. Your sleeping skin invites me in as daylight comes to find us. My dress is torn, your back is scratched. To a midnight kiss, our love is still attached. You ask me more than I can tell, but I'm quiet as the dawn and I've nothing more to say. The days are full, the nights are long, the years stretch out before me. Your starry eyes hold new surprise, your secrets never bore me. I close my eyes as you walk by. You move inside of me, you hardly have to try. I want you more than I can tell, but I'm quiet as the dawn and I've nothing more to say. I have seen through your dreams, I have read in between the lines that are not spoken. I can tell you mean well, feel the sunlight breathing. The stars watch over me, the night is far believing. I miss you more than I can tell. But I'm quiet as the dawn, and there's nothing more to say. And there's nothing more to say. And there's nothing more to say.
Hey!
Yeah?
And we can't wait much longer.
Okay, it'll just be a minute. I've got to do this interview that the listeners expected.
No! There's no time for an interview, okay? No, we are a real ship, we have real cargoes, it's time sensitive, it has to get to port.
No, I understand. Just give me 1 minute, okay? Move this along. All right. So, anyway, welcome, Cher, to the Midnite Hour with me, Tom Bobbajobski.
Oh, thank you, Tom. It's so wonderful to be on Huron City Radio.
Yes, of course. Wonderful to be here with me on my show, of course. But now let's get things straight. You're not the real Cher, are you?
Of course not.
Okay, a word of advice, sweetheart, from somebody who's been in the business a while. Just change your name. Why would you want to copy somebody?
It's just my name shortened. My name is Cheryl, and everybody calls me Cher. I mean, it's...
Okay, well, you see, it's very confusing. I thought I had a proper singing star on the show tonight.
Oh, look. My agent booked me for a specific time, and I just don't come out for anything. So I hope you're not trying to just kick me out of here. What is happening?
No, all right. Look, it's just very confusing.
Whoa, that's not my problem.
All right, I'm under some time pressure. I've got somebody... this is my show, by the way.
This is a professional show, isn't it?
Yes, of course. All right, Cheryl, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you could make it. So, now, singing, something new for you? You just do this on a dare.
Well, Tom, I've been singing since I was 5, sing along with the radio.
All right, well, you know what they say, practice makes perfect. I guess there's an exception.
Listen here, Bobbajobski.
All right, so do you write these songs yourself?
A lot of them I do. Or I'll work with a songwriting partner, or I like to work with other musicians. Everyone has a song in them.
Yeah, I'm finding that out here tonight. Now, and these are the kind of questions that my listeners really want me to ask. So, Cheryl, how many umbrellas do you own?
What?
How many umbrellas do you own?
What kind of question is that?
Well, it's a very easy question.
Are you serious?
You know what? I'm going to put you down for one. Everybody has at least one umbrella.
This is nonsense.
All right, next. If you were to perform in an oncoming play, which would you choose? Frogs, locusts, or fish flies?
I'm not answering that.
You look kind of like a locust. All right, tell me what's the biggest crowd you've ever played to?
Biggest crowd?
Yeah, how many people have come to hear you sing these songs?
Well, let's see. I did do a show at the Greywater Area Conference Center, about 1,000 people.
All right, so not thousands of listeners around the world. I recount.
Hey, I have lots of fans and lots of places.
Speaking of other places, when I was in Marrakesh back in '79, there was this little cart outside the Hotel Radisson run by a squalid yet handsome little man who answered to the name of Salome, and he served, hands down, the greatest smoked goat leg tortilla wrap in the entire Eastern Hemisphere. I can taste it now. Turmeric, fennel, cumin, this spicy dust burnt the skin of my tongue straight off. You ever have anything like that, Craig?
Craig? Who the hell is Craig?
All right, Craig, if people want to find your music, where do they go?
Oh, I'm not doing this anymore.
No, hey, Craig, I'm just trying to let listeners know how to find you.
No more, Bobbajobski. What the hell is this?
All right. Thank you, Cher. Not the real Cher. Man, I could turn back time, I tell you. Wait a minute. Oh, they are spelled differently. I'll be darned. All right, well, I want to thank you for being the last musician whose shitty music I have to listen to and try to get a half-decent conversation out of. And Eric, Eric, words cannot describe the relief of not having to listen to you moaning in that irritating voice in my ear or deal with your rampant incompetence anymore.
Hey! Hey, you really need to hurry up, okay? We can't miss the current ends of wind any longer.
Okay, there's just enough time to announce the successful competition entry from last week. The winners of Mr. Ernest Hemingway of 7th and Tombstone, whose portrait of the Lone Ranger playing ping pong with a groundhog was, in fact, the most historically accurate entry we received, so congratulations.
Hey, you have to come right now, okay? If we are going to do this, we have to do this.
Okay, look, give me just a minute. I still have to do Poetry Pocket.
No, there's no time for Poetry Pocket.
No, just a minute.
No, we don't have any minutes, okay? It is now or you're never coming.
No, I have to do this.
Come on!
Look, Poetry Pocket's the only chance I have.
No, hurry!
No, you listen
now
to me.
get to the room!
Now, hang on just a minute. I have to listen to these weirdos that call in, week in and week out. I have to deal with these musical guests and their irritating racket. You know, I have to deal with these sponsors. They send in these terrible samples that I have to try, and then I have to pretend that they're great. On top of that, I have to talk about the boring, inane, waste-of-time events here at Huron Hellhole. But this, Poetry Pocket, this is the one chance that I get to say something. Connect with my listeners and tell them what it's like to be me, Tom Bobbajobski. So this is the part in the program while I dig around in my pockets, find a piece of poetry, something that I wrote down in one of my more contemplative moods. Let's see what we have this week. Dear Mr. Bobbajobski, we are sorry, but your timeshare here in Atlantis no longer available, persistent, damp. Apologies, please reconsider this. Fortnight insanity, no refund. Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry, wrong stuff. Here's my poem, Tom's Poetry Pocket. Fruit. I blossomed in the dark. No bees came to feed on wine. I flowered into autumn fade, with petals falling in the wind. If only I'd listened as the seasons hummed. If only these shoots had dared to grow. Who will eat the fruit that ripens so late? That's Fruit by Tom Bobbajobski. All right. Hey, I'm ready. Ready to go now.
No, sorry, we have to go.
No, I'm ready now.
No, we're a real ship. We've got real ship business. We're not tiny little angry ship in the middle of the lake.
No.
If we're going to port, we have to be going.
No, you gotta come back. You can just drop me off near London. That's where the BBC lives.
No, sorry. I'll be the same. We have to be going.
No, please.
Yes, good luck now. Good luck with your shitty endeavor.
Come back. No, please, come back. Oh, no. It's gone. It's fading off into the fog. Oh, no, this was my one chance. My one chance to go. No. Christ on a bike. There's nothing on this ship. There's nothing on this lake for me. The ships are sailing to their destination. Am I ever heard? What do my listeners take from me? The silent tide brings waves of new frustration. For all my shows, it's the end of the line. so high, they're always roaming free. But still the moon collects them, the rising sun directs them. They have less chance of moving on than me. For all my shows, it's the end of the line. For all my dreams, they're running out of time. Trying to leave, but I just seem to stay. There's always tomorrow to take me away. I'm standing on the deck and I'm staring at the sky. The ships in the night, they simply pass me by. I've seen them before, they won't take me to shore. Carry me away from this place. Listening to the Midnite Hour on Huron City Radio with me, Tom Bobbajobski. First of all, I'd like to thank all of our phone-in callers, but I won't. Of course, a big thank you to all of our sponsors, without whom we would not be able to broadcast. So let's hear it for Maddie's Matted Mattresses.
Now, bug-free!
Burrow's Homegrown Meats.
Where nothing is wasted. Probably.
Randy's Apple Orchard.
Where no apples are bad apples.
The Huron City Museum of Wind.
We have a breeze for everyone.
And Miss Amanda's Roadkill Fashions.
Don't be seen in anything else dead.
O'Donnell's Restaurant.
It's both fantastic.
Special thank you to the words of wisdom tonight from Professor Amy Moore.
Did you know?
And of course to Wendy Abalone.
Well, Tom, it's
pretty wet down here tonight.
And not forgetting a wonder of Uncle Walter.
I'll take care out there, please. Good to see you.
And our musical guest tonight, Cher. Not Cher, but
Is this even real?
Hey, wait a minute. If you're out there listening somewhere, I still haven't got that pizza, and I'm getting friggin' hungry. Oh, I'm sorry, Eric. What? Yeah, no, Eric, I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean... You forget... Okay, yes. Look, I'm sorry. No, of course, you're not that incompetent. What's that? Oh, look in the supply box. What is that? Oh, my goodness. Eric! Thank you!
You have been listening to the Midnight Hour on Huron City Radio. Give up for our tech department. Sound from Marty. Thank you, Marty. That Fred who filmed the whole thing, so we've got you all on camera. Give up for the voices of our wonderful singer, the wonderful Cheryl McCoy. The amazing wonder of Marty Garavaglia as McCoy. The voices of the incomparable Rachel Kearney. The delightful Emilee Caughel. The many voices of Buckley. And last but not least, the man himself, Bobbajobski.